Hi there and welcome to Type or Text. In Adobe Illustrator, Type is very easy to use and set up until you make it very complicated and you add too many things, but practically easy. In this video, we're going to start creating a postcard or a brochure if you like, something like this, and we are going to expand on it in the next videos. For this, let's choose the postcard over here. I will click and I'll show it's a really very special postcard. Maybe it was meant to be used as a, landscape, cut it in half. I'm not sure. So let's change the dimensions here. I will come to document over here and change from point to inches. So I'm assuming I'm going to send this to the print. And of course, I'm going to edit the artboards. Here, 7, not so good. Let's put 5.5 by 4 inches. That will work fine in some countries. Actually, it's pretty cool this size. I want to create the first background. For that, I'm going to use half of the artboard plus half an inch. Okay, so I'm going to create a segment just in the middle and of course, center it. Okay, then come to the XY. Notice here the transform is the position according to the center. Then I'm going to add plus 0.5. And here you are. Pretty cool. So it's over here. If you don't like it, then you can change its position before start drawing your rectangle as a background. So I'm going to come over to intersect and then draw back to intersect. Remove the stroke. You don't want a stroke here. Okay, and the fill, let's start with this color. Then go to the color mixer and reduce a bit from here. Increase a bit from here and reduce a bit from here. Actually, let me reduce this one and increase this one. Okay, the way you would like. I like this color. I like this kind of colors, by the way. This guy, the one we used as separator, remove it, go to our layers and lock this layer so we don't move it around. Now, of course, we don't have any layer to work on, so we need to create a new layer. Let's go back to properties. Now, the type tool is just over here. It's a T. Surprisingly, you can long click on it and you have very many options that you can use here, a variant if you like. We are interested in the type tool. The first thing you can do is just click. And you have now what we call a point text. It's just a line and it doesn't give you any paragraphs. So it's just continuous until you press enter on the main keyboard. And then here you are, you can have another line and another line, which actually I do not recommend at all. The point text should be mainly used for a single line, few words only, not paragraphs, not enters and stories like this. So I'm going to remove all this and write something we need. We're going to write we provide. Now, if you press the command key, you're back to the black arrow and you can click and drag it and position it the way you would like. To edit it, just click inside and start editing and adding the words that you want, deleting, like a simple word processor, but very simple. Let's go for the selection tool here. And to increase the font size or decrease it, you can come over and play around with it. But that won't be professional. That won't be nice, to tell you the truth. I never do it. What you want to do is to use the character panel in the properties here and increase the font size just from here. For example, I'm going to make it 17, something like this. Now I would like to add more text. I will go back to this text tool or the type tool. Click. I'm making a point now, a point text, and write modern business. But actually, I don't want modern business in this kind of case. This is, sentence case. I want it all uppercase. To do that, you can come to the character here and you have the 3 dots, which means more options. Click on it and you have here very many options you can play with. And you want to use the all caps. Okay, these are of interest to me. All caps or typing normally and the small caps. That's small caps. That's all caps. Cool. That's what I want exactly. Fine. So I'm going to increase the font a bit. Okay, that's good. Let's add more. And now we want to add a single word, which is solution. So notice now it came in uppercase. Not because my keyboard was on the uppercase. That's because it retained the options that you already put. So it is all caps. So make sure that, you remember that it's all caps. I'm cool with it. I want this. Then I go back and increase the font now to join the other word. Okay. I think that will do. Well aligned. I'm gonna change the color now to white. Pretty nice. Modern business also, we can change it to white. I need to add more text, so I will come to the text tool, click here, and now it's really very big. So I'm gonna reduce the size here. I could have done this before I click, but then I was negligent. Now we want to write, we will help you grow your dream business. Okay, so I'm gonna type it. That's very fine. Okay, there is a mistake. I'm gonna double click and write you. Okay, then this is not exactly what I want. First of all, I have the option here, all capital. I'm gonna remove it. And actually, I don't want this text to go on one line. I want it like a paragraph, have the ability to have 2-3 lines, or format it in a kind of paragraph. The way to convert a point text to an area text, that's what is called here. If you come over here, you read area type text. It's very easy. You come over to the text with your selection tool, and if you click once on this circle here, it says double click to convert to area text, and it disappears very fast. So I'm gonna double click, and then I can click around on the delimiter box, and you notice now it's a kind of a box, and inside it there is a paragraph that you can actually format the way you would like. I'm gonna put it just over here. Okay, fine, I like that. I'm gonna reduce a bit the font. Okay, 9 is okay for me, or 8, 9 will be better. Yes, I'm gonna push it off to here. Over here, I'm gonna add 2 paragraph text. I need them. So the best way to create area type or paragraph, you click and drag, and it fills it with all kind of junk for lorem ipsum. You can come over and now create a new paragraph if you like, waiting for the text to come from the customer. And then you can just arrange it, put it the way you would like. Let's reduce the font. Now, in reality, when you have paragraphs like this that you want people to read, don't go below 8. Better is 10. But for our purpose here, demo, we're gonna put it at 8. Okay? I'm gonna try to align it, to fit a bit in the middle. Let's add something interesting here. Come to text, and I'm gonna add a point. We are writing what we do. And that's fine as size. Maybe I'll make it a bit smaller. I will show you why. And then come over to a rounded rectangle here, rounded rectangle, and draw a rounded rectangle. Put the fill to white, okay? And actually take it to back. So I say arrange, send to back. Now notice it's sent to the back of this layer, not the whole document. Okay, only this layer. So it's working very fine. And let's add, just adjust it just like this. Okay, let's add something small. I'm gonna zoom in, come over and choose the polygon, click here, and I want 3 sides. And here, this is my polygon, 3 sides. I'm gonna rotate it. Okay, pressing shift, then just move it over here and make it much smaller. And now it looks good. Okay, so if I click out, notice, pretty cool. You can select both of them. And of course, shape builder tool and make them one shape. Of course, you can choose the character. You can merge with the characters. Okay, so that was fun. Fine. So here we are going to add a line. Okay, make a nice brochure. Customer will be happy, make some money, stories like this. Okay. Now, one recommendation here. If you're using the stroke, make sure whatever color you give it, you have a background color here that's going to be printed. If you go down to a thin stroke, it might not appear, or worse, it can be mixed with the background, so the ink is not really taking on the print. You want to give it certain volume, okay? 0.5 will be nice, and I'm gonna put it at 1 point to make sure it's printed. It's gonna be thick, but it's okay. Fine. Let's add a couple of words. So I'm gonna go for the text tool, click and say contact us, and click down there. I write the phone number 001 265 and 555 or 666 895, whatever. Okay. Now, of course, I can come over here and bold this text, but I do not recommend it. You can come to the font and bold it from here. Now, let's make this one white. Fill, we're gonna make it white, and we're gonna select everything right? Except these guys here. I'm not gonna select these. I'm gonna align them to the left. And look, have a grand view. Did we do a good job? Actually, we did. We used the text very nicely, and we created some nice things and so on. Of course, you can change the colors and do what you like. But I did everything in one single font. This is the default font for Adobe. It is Myriad Pro. This is the latest default font. Because in the next video, I'm going to show you how to work with font and how to bring in thousands of fonts if you want from Adobe and the one you have on your system. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this one. Now, in this tutorial, I will show you how to use the variable fonts, and they are very interesting. And I will say they are very good for beginners. Let's select this text and go to my fonts over here. I'm going to go up. And you notice here you have an open type that is a variable. So this O means open type, and this is a variable font. Let's say we select this guy here and we go for the default one. But then you have an addition icon here. It says variable fonts. If you click on it, it's very nice. You can increase the weight or decrease the weight. Notice what's happening? So it's becoming thicker, something like this. It's like bold, extra bold, extra bold, and stories like this. Very nice. So depending on this slider. And you have the width. You can make it very condensed or not condensed at all. Okay, really stretched. So it's really your choice now how to use it. And most importantly, you have the slant. It's very nice sometimes. So I'm going to slant it. This is the italic. So any variable font will give you these options or less. Let's go for another option here, the source some variable. I will take the extra light, okay, and come over to the icon now, variable fonts, click on it, and notice here I have only the weight. So I don't have the other options. So you can make it, thicker, okay, extra bold, or thinner the way you would like. For our purpose here, I think we will go for our Acumen. I'm going to go for the default one and adjust the default one the way I would like. So this will be cool. I'm increasing the weight. It means the bold and so on. I'm going to decrease the width maybe. Okay, that's cool. And I don't want to slant at all. So as soon as you see over here that you have var or variable fonts, you can use this font. Of course, you can go to find more and get your variable fonts. Unfortunately, there are no tags here or anything or classification that says this is a variable font. So actually, it's your luck. You have to find the fonts. Okay, mainly the latest one are really variable. And you can decide which one you want to use. If it happens a variable, you can just use black, for example. Go over here, reduce the weight, okay, of the black, and reduce the width if you like to. Okay, I'm gonna undo this. This is all about the variable fonts, where we are going to see how to put text on path, curve the text on a certain path. And also we're gonna do this awesome, I hope you find it awesome. It's a badge where we have vintage style and it's guaranteed it's an original premium product. So let's start. To put the text on a path, you can actually use all the shapes and the brush and the pencil, whatever you like. I will play with the spiral tool here. If you long click on the line segment, you will find the spiral tool. Spiral tool is very easy to use. You just click and drag. With the up arrow, you add more spirals until you don't see them. Or with the down arrow, you can, make less spirals. Simple. So I'm gonna take this path. I find it quite nice. Cool. Let's take it and just drop it over here. And immediately, guys, take the habit when you're putting text on a path to duplicate the path. I am sure you are going to use it. Actually, we are going to use it. Now, we select the path, and to put the text here, we go to our text tool. Simple. You can use the type on path tool, but the text tool, the type tool, normal one, will do. Just come over to the path, and when the mouse pointer is changing, notice, okay, it's going to change to a path writing. You click, and it gives you the lorem ipsum, the gibberish that is required. Now you can start typing your sentence or your characters, whatever you like. And I will type, do your best, and move on. Okay, I will go for the selection tool. Now the font I'm using is a Bistro script. I like it. It is under the cloud. So if you open the document and you don't find the font, all you have to do is to sync it from the cloud and it will work. So let's see what we have here. First of all, let's look at the paragraph alignment. Okay, so I'm gonna put it to the left. When you put it to the left, you have these two bars, one on the left and one on the right. When the alignment is on the left for paragraph, you can click on this bar. Be careful, don't click on the square. If you do, it's gonna give you some funny thing here. To avoid that, just go back to the selection tool. So you find the line here on the left, you click on it and you can start dragging and adjusting the text on the left side. If you adjust too much, the text will disappear and then you're gonna have to link it to some other path and stories. So keep it just on your path, just like this. Okay. Now, if you align right, you can use, of course, the right one, just like this. Now, if you use the left one, notice nothing is going to happen. It's going to just eat up your text and tell you, find another path to put your text from over here. Okay, so I'm going to move this one up to here and adjust the text with the right one. Let's put it over here. Now, if you center your text, this becomes more interesting. It will center the text between the right bar and the left one. So I move one of them, it's going to keep the text centered in between the two bars. Notice, if I take this one down, it will just center it between this guy and this guy on the path. So I'm going to put it at the beginning and here at the end. Okay, and now my text is 100% centered. But let's say this is here and this is here, because I forgot to tell you something. There is one in the middle here. Okay, so make sure when you point, notice the mouse pointer, it gives you kind of a bar, okay, or an arrow with a bar under. You can click on it and move your text left and right, and both the left and right bars will move with you. Okay, I don't know what they call these bars. So let's put it over here and just take this one over here, the last one, and this one over here, the first one, and then you can increase your font the way you would like to fit. Okay, I forgot something I want to put here. Just here, there are exclamation marks, and they are important because you're doing a remark, a bit rude, but it works. This is all there is to it. You can use almost any path you would like. You can use an arc, a line segment. All these ones can be used, including the brush and the pencil. Let's look at options here. If you want to change a few things, you can do it through the type on path. You come to type, and there is the option type on path. And here you have type on path options. Okay. Gives you this small dialog box. You have several effects. Let's preview. You have rainbow and skew and all the rest that don't give you nice results. Okay. Feel free to use them to be very creative. For me, I will stick to rainbow. Okay. It's a bit straight and readable. But also there is align to path. You can align it to the baseline. The baseline now is the path you have drawn. Okay? You can move it from the baseline to center it on the baseline. So notice now this font is centered in this way. You can also do the ascender. Okay, it means the highest point, the B, the T, the D is aligned to the path. This is how the font is behaving. This is not abnormal. It's the way it behaves. You can choose another font and you will find that the behavior is almost the same. You have the descender, which means the lowest, in this case is the Y, is on the path. Simple. So I'm going to keep it, for example, on the baseline itself. And you have the spacing here, which is exactly like this spacing. So forget about it. Okay. Actually, we have a lot of spacing here. Let's remove the spacing, put it at 0. Okay. And then try to increase it slowly, so you can use it the way you would like. I'm going to push it up. It was 123. Okay, that's enough. Fine. Now let's take this guy. We'll put aside. This is our original path. Let's try to put it over here. Okay. And then let's go for the width tool, of course. So I'm going to click on it, press Option, and drag it down. Okay, because I want one side only. And of course, you know me very well now. I want to have this profile because I like it very much. And it's a bit big, so I'm going to use the Shift and Option to make it a bit smaller. Okay, so it fits nicely. Cool, actually we did a better design. So now we have done it. Let's change the colors. Let's select the path and go to the stroke and give it a darker gray, something like this. That will do. Now I'm gonna select them all. I'm gonna show you here a trick that's very important. Notice I have checked scale, strokes, and effects. I will uncheck it because I never told you to check it, and select both of them and make them smaller. Notice that the stroke of the path here is not scaling down. It's staying the same size, so it's somehow, deforming the path. The way to avoid this is to make sure that you check the scale and stroke effect, select them both, for example, and just scale them down. So now you notice the stroke here has changed. It has scaled down with the scaling. Let's undo this and make it a bit reasonable and put it over here. Actually, we did a better job than before. Or the badge itself. I'm gonna do something very nice. I'm gonna take the circle, of course, something like this. But of course, I don't want any strokes, so I'm gonna put the stroke. First of all, I'm gonna go stroke nothing, then take the stroke up, just one. And then come to the stroke color and make it black for now. Let's now try to put the text on the circle here. I'm gonna duplicate it. If I use my text tool or the type tool, immediately come to the text, notice how it's not gonna go the same way it went here. Do you remember here? It went just like this. I don't know if you can see it. So here is gonna go like a circle and so on. If you click, you are going to put text inside the circle, which is very useful sometimes, but not now. We have to go for the actual tool, which is type on a path tool. So this is type on a path, and you have to select the path. So it shows you the word path. You click, and here you are. Gives you all kind of lorem ipsum and gibberish on the path, which is the circle. So now we can type your text. I'm gonna type vintage style. Let's change the font first of all. From here, we are going to go to our old fonts. So I'm gonna clear that. And we have April. Let's use April. And you have the extra bold. No, only the bold will do. And if I come here to the three dots for the character panel, I can find the caps, all caps. Now it's a bit big, so I'm gonna reduce the size. So what do we have here? We have the text on the circle and it's upside down. Well, sometimes it's gonna go up, sometimes it's gonna go down. Don't worry about it. It's about how the circle was drawn. But I still have the two bars. I have the right one, okay, I can move it. I have the left one, I can move it. And you notice here I'm centered, which is very good. But now the middle one here has another object. Even it could done it on the path here. If you click on it and bring it up, you see it goes inside, and down it goes outside. Now first of all, let's put our text up, okay? It has eaten all the text over here, so I'm gonna reopen it just to over here. Notice I put them on the circle at 90 degrees and minus 90 degrees, so I distributed them. My text is looking good. So we need another circle now, and we need to put the text down. So vintage style, we need premium products here. We're gonna duplicate this guy, okay? Don't forget to duplicate it. And simply I'm gonna select both of them. Notice here, I didn't select the text like this. I selected the whole circle. And then simply you can just align them. As simple as this. Let's go for the text tool, which is still type on path tool. And come over, and when it shows me path, I'm gonna click and write premium product. I hope I didn't make a mistake. I go for the selection tool. And then obviously I'm gonna go with this one over here and this one over here. Now they are on top, so I'm gonna go more and take this guy and bring it here. So now I did it the very right way. Select them, go to type and go to type on path and go to type on path options. Come over here. Instead of baseline now, we use center. And let's preview it. The characters went on this circle in the middle here. Pretty cool. But we still have this guy that is somehow reversed. Click on the middle one and just take it up. Here you are. It works. And it's in the middle. So they are exactly the same. So let's do more circles. And you see, I made the mistake. I lost my circle. So actually, I can retrace it here. Come to the center. Shift and Option and make it as big as he is gonna show me. Don't worry. Yes, here it is. I don't want any fill. I'm gonna add a stroke of 1. Come on. First of all, I'm gonna make a duplicate. No mistakes this time. Selection tool, Option key, and duplicate it. Then I'm gonna select it and go up with Shift and Option or Alt on the PC and make it bigger. As simple as this. Ctrl C, Ctrl F to make one smaller. Simple. And then I need a rectangle. And go for a rectangle tool. The rectangle tool here. And draw something just like this. Now notice here, I'm dealing all with circles. I can select everything. And also align again. As simple as this. Okay, so I'm not dealing with text that is just a portion. I need more text, so I'm going to go to the type tool. And right over here, not on the path, just somewhere. Okay, I will write original. Now this font is really original. It's bigger than it's supposed to be. So I cannot select it like this and center. Okay, it will not center really. So I'm going to undo and center just visually. Now let's go for colors. I'm going to select this guy over here. And go to the fill and give it this color. Okay, that's a bit dark. Let's go for this color. Or even this color. That's nicer. And the one there, I'm going to give it the fill, give it the white. Simply white, so it makes a hole. The characters inside, let's send this to back, arrange, send to back. And the characters inside are fine. I mean, everything is fine here except this guy. I'm going to change the fill and give it a lighter fill or the same fill. I think it's this one. Select the shapes, that's 1, 2, and 3 shapes, and reduce the stroke. I'm going to go up, down. Okay, 0.2. Notice this text, we need to spread the character. This is done by the leading here, and you can go up. I'm going to actually go to 300. Yes, and then go up from here. And now you can make the font bigger if you like to, adjust it, and go for the leading again, something like this. So I'm looking at the O and the L to center them inside this circle over here. Cool, so we've done it. Now you can get rid of this one. I don't even dare removing it. We've done a great job, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. And this is how to put text on path and how to format the text. It's pretty easy, by the way. In this tutorial, we are going to take a simple word comedy with a simple font and turn it into this awesomeness and still keeping the type intact and its editable text. We're going to change the colors, positioning them. All this with the touch type tool. Let's start. I'm going to take the text tool, just normal text tool, and type comedy. I have already set the text I want to use. You can find a, funnier text if you like. But for our course, this is a font from Adobe, so you can download it. Let's move on to show you the tool itself. It's called Touch Type Tool, and the shortcut is Shift-T. Now, what does it do? First of all, you notice the line over here. This is how you will select a character. So I'm going to click on it. I selected the C. First of all, you can move it around anywhere you want. And notice the other words will move with it, so to give you space. And then you can move it down, up, left, right, the way you would like. But also you can stretch it. I will come to this corner, the opposite corner of the blue dot, and stretch it like this. Also, I can stretch it, unproportionally. This is proportional, and this is unproportional, as simple as this. I'm going to undo all this. And notice here, you have the rotation, which is awesome, by the way. So let's start working really with this tool. I'm going to select it and make it bigger, much bigger. I'm not pressing Shift or anything. This is scale. I'm going to click on it and just position it over here. Come to the O now. Okay, if you can't select it, for example, you point and you see the blue line here. Click on the blue line, you're sure to select it. This one, I'm going to make it smaller and just move it over here. Make it more smaller. You notice how I'm playing with the squares. I can rotate it if I like. It's a comedy after all. That's why I chose this word. The M here, let's rotate it. Okay, this direction maybe. Click on it and put it over here and make it much bigger. Not bad. Let's put the E over here. Notice how they are joining together. Let's rotate the E in the inverse of the M and bring it nearer. Let's make the E smaller. Smaller will be from here, yes. That's it. The D, you can rotate it again. This is how to explain to you how this tool works. The best way is for me to play, and while you're watching me, I'm sure you got a lot of ideas. I'm gonna go for this one, comedy, and this guy, just put it over here and then rotate it again, maybe this way, this way. It's upside down and just over here. Maybe not. I'm sure you are laughing now how these characters are moving all over the place. But I like them. I like this tool very much, by the way. It allows you to be very creative. Notice I'm trying to click here. I'm not selecting, then what I'll do, go out, come back in, and this is the D. Notice the blue line. You click on the blue line. I'm just gonna put it just like this. And this one, I don't like it. Let's make it smaller. And let's rotate it a bit more and just bring it here. It's a comedy of the century. Let's make it smaller again. Nope, I don't like it. Okay, I'm gonna stretch it like this. That's very cool. Now, obviously, what you want to do is to change the colors. I will stay in the same tool and then select the C here, notice, and then go to the fill and give it a pink. Come over here. I can't select the O, so I deselect outside. Come over, click on the line next to the O and give it another color, for example, blue, or let's make it comedy. And then I want to select the M. Okay, so the M is just over here. And we select, for example, green or brighter green. Do you have brighter green here? Yes. And then for the E, I just clicked and selected the E. I'm going to change the color to this color. Now we have it. Let's say reddish. The D now, or the Y, we can select the yellow. Somehow I don't like ending words with yellow because they are not very well seen sometimes. And the D could be yellow, for example. So I come back, the blue line, and let's do the D yellow. I've done a very nice comedy. You can select all your text and give it a very small stroke. 0.25, even more. Actually, you can give it more if you like to. You play with it. I'm going to give it a 1 stroke will be nice, or 2 will be even nicer for a comedy. Obviously, it's very cartoonish now, but you get the point. I'll go back to the tool, adjust the Y, put it over here. This is how to use the touch type tool. I'm going to change the Y to another color. I'm going to give it this color. Yes. This is how to play and do some awesome artwork with the touch type tool. It's really nice and very convenient. If you come back to the normal type tool, for example, and you want to add some text, you can click inside and start typing the text. Of course, it took whatever was before. That is the M. You can go back here. It's going to take the O, something like this. Okay, but I guess that when you're doing this kind of work, you really don't want to change the characters. There are 7 kinds of logos in the world that use these kinds of layout for characters. Now, what's awesome about that, you still in the type, you still can edit, you can still change the fonts, and that is what makes it very awesome, by the way. Okay, so now after doing all this work, you can come over and change the font. This is quite nice font. I didn't know I had it. I think it's a stroke. So let's make the stroke, disappear. Actually, it's fun. Cool, guys. Thank you very much for listening. And this is the touch type tool where we're going to take a simple text with the Arial black, nothing fancy, and then distort the text and then add the background just for the text. It's going to be an awesome journey. I hope you follow along with me, try to play a bit with it as much as possible. This technique is extremely useful. Let's start. I'm going to take the type tool. And notice I have Arial black here, regular 80 point just for simplicity. Click and drag and type winners. And just bring it over here. No problem. Let's go and align it. So I'm going to align it in the center. Now, of course, I can use the touch type tool, but it's a bit limited. I cannot be very fancy with the touch type tool. There is a better way. How about if you convert this text into object or shapes, if you like, or path? Path will be, the perfect thing. The way to do that is very easy. You come to type over here and you have create outline. And you notice I had the shortcut. meaning it is extensively used. You can click on it, or you can just right click and say create outlines. Now it seems like nothing happens except the binding box has changed. Let's go to layer. So you notice now we have a group, and inside the group each character has become a compound path. Now don't worry about compound path for now. I'm gonna explain it in detail in the next section. But yet you can think about it that you have put several paths or paths together and you compound them. As simple as this. There is no miracle in it. There is nothing really intellectual about it. It's just a path that has been put together. The first thing I want to do, instead of going to double click to access each letter, I'm gonna ungroup. I will right click and you have the ungroup over here. I have access to each character the way I would like. You notice now the letters have a binding box. I can stretch them if I want to. All kinds of stretching. This is with the black arrow or selection tool. But also better than that, I can use the white arrow, and here I have access to real path. I can select one of them, for example, this guy, and move them up. Now I'm designing my own font. Then I'm gonna round them over here. And maybe I'll do the same here. I'm gonna select these 4 down, press shift and take them down. Up to here is enough. Then maybe round them. Come to this guy, try to round it a bit, just a bit. Okay, they don't have to be equal distance because I'm being creative. Just showing you, and I'm playing around. The way you think about this is for fun. You want to have fun in this. You want to create something beautiful. Now these points here, the 4 points here, I'm going to try to select them. And actually I'm going to take them down, pressing shift. It didn't work. It has taken these guys with them. Leave them. It's okay. Let's come to the eye. I'm going to select the top 2. Take it up here. Now let's put a dot here. This is our dot for the eye. So now I'll go for the white arrow and I can zoom in here, select the points and also round them. And this guy, maybe we round like this. We have a very nice eye. We can also extend the eye, not to the bottom, but something like this. And this guy here, maybe the dot of the eye, take it up here. We're creating something nice, guys. Don't feel like you have to do something. No, feel like, okay, how can I make it very beautiful? Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll stay here. Now, the N. First of all, let's take the upper 4 and move them up. We're really playing. And take the lower 4 and move them down. Now, the N always makes trouble to me. There's something I don't like, which is this line here. First of all, I'm going to select the top and round them. Select the bottom and round them. Okay, if I select it even with these guys, the roundness will be like terrible. Inner ones, I'm going to round them just a bit. And it looks cool like this. Of course, you can take them down, play with the way you would like. This end, I don't want it. Selection tool, and I'm going to duplicate it to make a bit of sense. For the E, with the white arrow, let's select these 4 guys here and take them up, yes. And the bottom guys, okay, like this. Now, actually, we're going to keep them there on the same line as the eye. Now, I'm going to select all and round them to the maximum. Well, actually, I want to do something else. I'm going to select the anchor point on the corner here and round it to the maximum, something like this. Then this one here, I'm going to round it a bit more. Don't have to be symmetrical so much. Now, that looks good. And this one, and round it like this. So we have a very special E. On the bottom here, select the corners and just round them just a bit, not much. Actually, it won't work unless, okay, let's select these 2. So I'm creating something, okay, this is not beautiful at all, but nevertheless, you get my point. I'm gonna go like this. A bit of symmetry will do well. For the R, I don't know, what do you suggest, guys? I'm gonna take the bottom ones and just take them down. Actually, I don't like here. I'll give you a small tip here, just a small tip. You have very many anchor points here. They have been created because of the compound path to make this thing a path. Notice there's a path inside and a path outside, which proves the point that is compound. You put them together. And if I select inside, I select the R. Notice the R is selected here. Select outside, I still select the R. So I'm going to select everything here. And the tip is to reduce the number of anchor points. Pretty advanced, but nevertheless, I'm going to show you. I will come to Object, I will go to Path, and here there is Simplify. There is something that will come up and so on. You can simplify it as much as you want and click out, but you have simplified. There is less anchor points now, at least. It can work better. So let's take the R from here and rotate it or round it. And these two, we round them. And these two, we round them. This guy, let's round it more. I have a nice R. There is something wrong here. I'm going to take the top ones here. I don't know if I will be able and leave it up. Not nice. So I'm going to take it just like this. Take the other 4 here. And I hope it doesn't distort. It's distorting. So the R is fine. The S, same. I'm going to go to Object and Path and then Simplify. Click out. I take the top point here, press Shift, take it up. There is no bottom point here. No problem. I'm going to go to the pen tool here and put one here. Just here. I'm cheating, but it's okay. White arrow and take this point and move it down. That's my style. It's not fantastic, but it gives us, something that is not very regular. So I have the word winners here. Very nice. I can do like this. Winners. So nobody is able to read it. I like these kind of things. Now you modified your text in any other way you want. Let's not leave this guy behind. Take them all. So now you modified your text. You played it like if it is a shape. Actually, a compound path is object and shapes. Another trick I will show you here. Let's say you want to inverse. You want to punch it inside a rectangle using shapes. But there is one thing I need to take care of is this rectangle, which is a shape. It's not a compound path. So very obviously, I'm going to come to Object and make a compound path. They are all alike. Now, I will select the rectangle tool and just do a rectangle from intersect to intersect. I will press Ctrl-H, select everything on the artboard. Having everything selected, I will come to Object and create a compound path. That's why we transform this little eye. Now notice it's very beautiful. If I click over and you notice it's transparent, okay, our background is white. But the most amazing here is if I use the direct selection tool again, I have access to all the paths. I can play with the roundness even more, selecting the path, play with the roundness if I want to. Here you are. Or, change the whole design if I want to. And let's place an image behind. I will come to File, Place, and there is an image colors here somewhere. Here it is. I'm going to click on Place and just click and drag to create it. It's okay, we can stretch it. You know that. With the selection tool, I'm going to stretch it. It's no problem. And then I will select it and arrange Send to Back. You have your winners. You can now change the colors. I will come to Property. Instead of Fill Black, you can change the fill. You can give it any color of the fill that you want, even gradient if you like to. And you can, play around with it the way you would like. You can add shadows and stories like this. So actually, if you notice, it is something that is very much used and very extremely useful. This one I would use if I want to create a very special logo that is based on text. I want to distort the text and so on. There are other distortion tools that are very useful, but they are a bit advanced. For now, this is extremely useful for you, and I'm sure you want to play with it and create your name, for example, something awesome. I will see you later on.